Welcome back to episode 2 of Motherhood the Secret. Today I have a special guest with me, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. So, first off, let's start off with what's your name?
My name is Franny.
Welcome. So glad you're joining me today.
Thank you. I appreciate this.
How many children do you have?
I have 8 children, 6 are biological, and I have 2 bonus babies.
So, I know you have some secrets about motherhood.
Oh, yes. Have mercy. Y'all ready?
Okay, so we're going to start off with the first question for Motherhood the Secret. My first question to you is, what was the hardest season of motherhood that people couldn't see? What would you say is the hardest season of motherhood in your experience of being a mother of 6 and a bonus mother of 2?
The hardest season. I really can't pinpoint a season because every stage of motherhood it has its own pickles to them. And they have their ups and downs. You have to consider the emotional roller coasters that you have to deal with. Mothers losing themselves and sometimes becoming depressed, and I had to deal with that. And sometimes I did not feel like myself. I lost myself. I had low self-esteem, and I had to learn how to regain who I was by being a mom, because you always put yourself last. I always have the silly analogy that I joke about, like I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking and cleaning, and one of my eyeballs is drooping, and I lost an arm, a foot, fingers fell off, I lost all my teeth, and I am still having to cook, clean, take care of everybody else despite how I feel. So yeah, it's really exhausting.
So you would say that the hardest season of motherhood would be that you don't see is the exhaustion, the behind the scenes that nobody talks about. The I still got to be a mother despite not knowing who I am and not facing my reality that this is real. Like I have to show up even when I don't feel like showing up.
Definitely. And you cannot look for a thank you, because the truth is you're not going to hear thank you from this one, that one, that one. They might feel like I appreciate you, but in reality it's not to the level you need, and they don't mean no harm. Your family love you and they need you, but sometimes the frustration is loud. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say being a mother is the worst thing in the world. Oh my God, run. But it's not for the weak. It's definitely not for the weak.
Okay, okay. So I wanted to double back to where you say like the thank you. Sometimes I always say this silly thing to people. I'm like, it's not silly, it's real. I say sometimes we need validation. We feel like we need validation, and I'm like, and don't nothing need validated in life besides parking. Mm-hmm. But I feel like once you become a mother, you look for that validation. Definitely. To be able to say, I'm doing this right.
Definitely.
Nobody's gonna give you the book to say, hey, this is how to become a mom. Do your best, and then you know what your parents may have done, so you trying to do it different, or you're trying to do just as good as them. So that's also something that I feel like could piggyback on what you said, and it's really crazy that something so simple and which may be minute to someone else is huge in all reality. Like this is something big. Like a thank you is small to the person that didn't say thank you, but to us as mothers, it's like, did you not just see me run that marathon, come home, cook dinner, and do everything else, and then you just like, or don't let something be off?
That's absolutely true. That is absolutely true. My daughter, and I'm not putting you out there, baby, but I had to have a talk with her to let her know, in family, one hand washes the other. We have to all be there for each other. I want this pocketbook. I want this. Mommy, can you do my hair? Because you know I'm a hairstylist, so you got to consistently do all these different heads. Mind you, there are 7 girls. Let that sink in. 7 girls. My hair is halfway done most of the time because of 7 girls. And mommy, do this and give me and give me and give me and give me, give me. And the minute I say, hey, I need to go do some grocery shopping. Can you watch the babies for 2-3 hours? Or I got a quick drive to do. Can you help with this? Or could you clean this? You get looked at like,
And we didn't have that option growing up.
Let's not talk
about the fact that it was like a requirement growing up that you had to.
And you better not say a word. You better not say a word.
I'm just gonna roll my eyes at that point because the reality is that we give our children a little more. I feel like
we want them to have a voice because we know how it feels to feel silence.
Yes, yes.
So we don't know as this generation how to have that balance. You can have a voice. You know how they say, I'm not your friend.
Yes.
But you can have a friendship with your child.
Yes.
You just have to have that balance. Like, look, I'm taking care of you. I'm doing my mother duties for you. But at the same time, you need to know this is my obligation. My obligation is to put a roof over your head, some food in your stomach, and make sure you're good. Yes. I don't have to do anything because back in the day, the parents will go to the thrift store, get a lot of clothes. This is what you're wearing. This is the food we putting on the table. You eat it or starve, and this is what it is, and you better not complain. So I used to be embarrassed. My grandmother used to dress me like an old lady, and I got teased in middle school because of that. It was terrible. I was dressed like an old lady, and I got hit over the head with a newspaper and everything every single day from the same boy. God rest his soul. But yes, and it was a lot for me. So I'm like, I don't never want my kids to not be able to express their style and be able to express themselves appropriately, but still be able to express themselves. So I try to give that window, but sometimes they take them. You give them an inch, they take a mile.
I'll say you're absolutely right, but something else I'll say is that them beatings that not everybody didn't get beatings. I needed one. But them conversations that hard parenting that our parents did, I feel like that built character. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that helped you create who you are today? Like just the fact that your mom said you're gonna do this. Like there's no options here. Now the reality is I know how to adjust in society because I don't always have choices. Going to work is not a choice. Yeah, what job I'm gonna have sometimes is not a choice. I need money, so sometimes you might have to be at McDonald's. So things like that.
It's funny you say that because I told my daughter that too. So the job was, hey mom, I want to go to work, and you know we live on a farm, so we live in the middle of nowhere. There's no just getting in your car and just going to McDonald's and going to work. You need transportation. If I gotta go to work, Pop's gotta go to work. You can't go to work. You gotta be the kid. So I said, okay, you want to make some money? How about you want to babysit or do something like that? And I'll pay you every week. Mind you, we ain't get paid to watch our family members. We pay you every week. But then it's like when it's time to do the job, I don't feel like getting up. Or I don't feel like doing this, and I don't feel like doing. I said that is not the real world. My job right now is to train you how to be a successful person in society. If you walk around lazy as a child, you're going to be a lazy adult, and we're not going to get anywhere in life. I need a successful kid. I need somebody take care of me when I'm old.
Okay. Let's talk about it. We might need a round of applause for that. Okay? Okay, so then I'm going to go to the next question. The next question is, how has becoming a mother changed the way you love yourself?
I feel like it has caused me to have a lot more love for myself, unconditional love for myself, being able to give myself grace, because I look at it this way, and I had to learn this way. Just because you made a mistake or you don't make the perfect choice doesn't make you a bad mother. I do my due diligence to make sure everybody is well. And even down to my last piece of energy, I'm good. So I learned to give myself grace. I learned to take a moment for myself because, like I said, I lost my self-esteem. Like, you know, when you have kids, your body change. And before having children, only thing I had going for myself, and I had one child at 18, and then I got pregnant a month after giving birth. So I had 2 children by 19. So I've been a parent since I became an adult. So I went from having this perfect little small physique to stretch marks and my stomach hanging, and I was so young and I felt ugly, and all I had for me was my beauty. I thought I didn't have my My father died when I was 9 years old. So I didn't have parents to show me unconditional love. So when that boy said you beautiful or that one said you look good, that was all I had. Now I wanted love and I was trying to seek it. I was looking for God and did not know how to find him. I think I told you I opened the Bible so many times in my life and I didn't understand it. And I had to recent years find out what the Bible was talking about because I was lost, so I didn't have that. God is love and I didn't have him, so how could I love myself?
Wow,
I didn't care.
that's really really deep, and that's something that I feel like is not talked about enough. Like you said, sometimes nobody talks about that. That's a good motherhood secret. Nobody talks about the shift in your appearance once you become a mother and adapting to the new version of yourself. There's no handbook to it. You don't realize like this is my new reality. Like I really the weight that I gained or the weight that I'm losing. Some people lose more weight than they did before they was pregnant. So this new body I have to adapt to is hard, and then I have to realize that there's someone who always is gonna need me. So I definitely that's one of the things that I wanted to touch on a little bit when I decided that motherhood is the secret was the first few episodes of the podcast that we're going to talk about because I feel like it's so many things that are missed. Like we don't talk about that. Like we expect. I feel like society also turned a lot of women against each other, and a photo is
because there's the standard of beauty.
Yes. So a photo is a small waist, thick thighs, a butt, and stuff like that. But the reality is, people are having to pay for that.
Everybody is made differently. Everybody's made differently, and I'm still learning to love myself unconditionally. Like this is a topic that a lot of people are against cosmetic surgeries.
Yeah.
Um, I went and got a BBL in 2021. Stupid decision, but I went and did that because I had a complex. Because remember, how you said that standard. Yes. Everybody walked around. I got teased for so long, flat butt, flat butt. I've always been curvy in the front, right? But then we turn to the side. There's nothing going on back there, and then people make fun of you because you don't have a big butt, and that was a complex. My husband loved me before I even did that, but it was still something that I felt insecure about, and that's what most people don't say. They feel insecure, and that's why they get cosmetic surgery. If you could change it, everybody got a complex about something. If you could change it, you would.
And I feel like what you say that it's like that's a whole other thing about motherhood is that we don't talk about is the trauma before motherhood. So there's traumas that lie dormant before motherhood. Absolutely. Or once you became a mother that later on they project themselves and they're bigger than what they were before. And it's like the reality is I didn't accept this in the beginning.
Yep.
And now I have to learn how to accept it now, which is hard.
Yeah, like I'll give you an example. My daughter wrote me a letter. She was only 12. She wrote me a letter after I got surgery, and it made me cry. It was saying, "Mommy, you are beautiful the way you are, and I love you the way you are, and you don't have to go get surgery and stuff." Right. I could show you the letter. It was so sweet. And it made me so emotional. I feel a little emotional now. I'm thinking about it, and it made me feel away because I was in the midst of recovery from the surgery. So I was going through excruciating pain, and those people did me dirty. So I had a 2 gallons aroma in my stomach. I had extra drains and stuff for a second time. I was in the hospital, and I put myself through all of that just because I wanted to look better.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking towards a tummy tuck and my boob job because I'm still not 100% satisfied with myself. I don't know if you ever will be 100% satisfied with self, but
not after you become a mother. I feel like
it definitely is. Yeah, and like you said, there's dormant feelings that you like, traumas that you dealt with, having lack of this and lack of that and lack of that, and then when you bring a child in the world, you're trying not to project what you feel on your kids, but it's hard. It's definitely hard.
I feel like a lot of mothers are doing that. So I feel like that's a motherhood secret. Eventually, on one of the episodes, I think that we may have a mother that will be more like very vulnerable and speak about that because there are mothers who are projecting their childhood traumas on their children. There are mothers who are saying, "No, you can't do that because this happened to me when I did that," and it may not even be that bad of a, a thing that their child want to do. So I do believe eventually we will get into that, but that's another motherhood secret that we're not talking about as well. But I think that we're gonna head to the next question. So, Freddie, the next question I'm gonna ask you is, I feel like you're getting a little teary eyed.
I'm okay.
Okay. Because motherhood is hard.
Yeah,
it's hard, and sometimes the reality don't set it, and so we have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like it's not the reality is my reality is bigger than me. Like as simple as that. Like my reality is really big, and sometimes I don't have a chance to sit in my big emotions with my big reality.
Mm-hmm. You gotta be strong.
Yes.
You can't walk. It's not motherhood is not for the cowardly.
Yes.
You don't want your kids to see you weak. You don't want your kids to see you crying. I'm kind of vulnerable with my children. I used to be like trying to be tough mom, but I let them see the crazy side. I let them see the emotional side. I let them see those moments where I'm just overstimulated and I just can't take it no more. No, I'm not in the house screaming, throwing things, cursing or anything, but it's just they see the moments like I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get away from you. I gotta get away. Because I just can't deal with it. Or I let them see those teary moments and then I explain to them what I'm experiencing because I don't want them to grow up not understanding why I may have been acting strong, but then I'm lashing out and I have a bad attitude and treating everybody. Instead of lashing out in anger, I just let them have the emotion and I just tell them what's wrong and how I feel. So when they mature and they take those words with them, they'll understand, okay, my mom, she had it rough. It was hard for her, and this is the reason why she's overstimulated this way, or this is the reason why she reacts or have them little ticks from here and there because of what she's been through, and she's doing her best with me.
Right. Sometimes, and I had to go back and tell my mom thank you for like how she raised us, because I said you did the best you could with the tools you had.
Mm-hmm.
You made the best out of the tools you had, and I really appreciated that. And it's funny you talk about being overstimulated. I feel like that's something that we don't talk about. And I now call it, so I'll say to my husband, like, I'm stimming.
Mm-hmm.
So that lets you know I need a moment. Like this, like, it's cool and all, but give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. So I'm glad that you mentioned that about stimming. What is something you have apologized to your children for, or even just one of your children? Not all of them. Maybe it's just one of them that you may have apologized to them for.
Overreacting. I say overreacting because I am a very paranoid person because of life. You see things, hear things, trauma response. Yes, I am a fight or flight kind of person. And if I feel like there is dangers behind it, I might act before I think. And that's something I'm working on as a person. Remember, I'm not perfect. Nobody is though.
Exactly.
Thinking before I act, because sometimes I could just like no about something, and then I realize it wasn't that deep. I'll give you an example. My daughter was on Roblox, and I think I overreacted, but I had a reason, but I overreacted. She was on Roblox and she was talking to some people on there, and somebody like she was in a relationship, and the conversation wasn't the most appropriate conversation for her age. And my reaction was I snapped the phone in her face, and I said, "You won't be talking to nobody anymore. Roblox is gone." I didn't have to break the phone.
No, we need that sometimes.
But it was
better than the beating we would have got. We would have got knocked up beside of our heads.
No, she definitely tried to challenge me, and I had to don't play with me. And then I snapped that phone because I felt like I went far the way. If you were in the moment, you probably would understand I saw red.
Okay.
And it was
but you was protected. That was Mama Bear turned it into Mama Bear. Like, no, because this person could show up at our house, Because the reality
Yeah, I
is
definitely said those things.
the kids don't understand that
Mm-hmm.
this world is crazy. And my mom watches crazy stuff all the time. So
Me
she
too.
watches all these.
I've watched a lot of crime
Yes.
shows and stuff.
So, and it's real.
Mm-hmm.
I told you, I'm living in a Lifetime Element
Mhm.
original right now, too. So, like, I understand those
I
things.
always say on the next episode of the Bridgeses. That's my maiden name.
And you don't know what's next. Like, so I completely understand. Sometimes you have to, I feel like sometimes the overreaction are balanced for when we don't react enough. Because sometimes when our kids say that extra word that our parent would let us say, that was their test to see if they could use 2 extra words next time. Then before you know, you're like, you're still going back and forth with me when I told you no. Like, that's not okay. Like, what made you think that that was okay?
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't too much of a reaction, but I felt like I did in the moment.
And
like,
it was your trauma response, and then you was feeling bad because you didn't want nobody to do that to you. Like, we start thinking about, like, dang, that was a lot. But in reality, I feel like that should have let your daughter know that this is serious. Like, my mom don't normally do stuff like this, so I know that this has affected her. She's not okay with this.
Yeah, I felt like if I could have redid that, I wouldn't have broke the phone. I would have kept the sternness in the space and let her know don't play with me. But I could have explained what was. She didn't collect all that fuel that was going on. You know, all the thoughts. It's like, oh my god. Yes. I didn't give that to her. I just went like, don't you play with me. I will hurt you.
Right.
So it's like, hold up. Relax.
Yes,
don't do
turn
that.
It down a little bit.
You explain what's what because they are teenagers and they are, even although their brain is still developing, they don't know everything, but they're smart enough to receive some of the words, and you can't always, like, remember I said being silenced when we were kids and nobody giving us any sense of an explanation. We just kind of went with the flow. But had somebody gave us a couple of the tools, we would be able to be like, okay, this is why I can't do this. Now, we might not like it still, but at least you understand why.
Right. Yes. That was really good. So I'm going to continue on to the next question. My next question to you is, if you could remove one pressure that society has placed on mothers, what would it be?
One pressure. That society placed on mothers. I guess being perfect.
I thought that's the first thing that came to mind when
I feel like sometimes we are put, like I said, the word mistakes, because we are all imperfect. We all fall short at times. And I'll give you an example. I had something happen to me before, and I felt like I was condemned because I made this decision. And it wasn't the smartest decision, but it was a decision, and it was in the snap of the moment. I had all 3 of my daughters. It was snowing outside. It was freezing cold. And the school, the daycare was right here. The door's right there. The car's right here. I took the baby out of the car, and my 2 elder daughters was sitting in the car. I locked the car door, and I was just going in for a split second to drop the baby into the school to get back in because I didn't want to take the other 2 kids out and freeze them while I'm trying to get this baby inside the school. Now, mind you, I said I was a lot bit younger, and I was doing it. I congratulate myself today from where I was, because a lot of little girls at 18, 19, 20, 21, I was 23 already with 3 little kids to take care of and nobody to really direct me on how to take care of them. But I was doing my best. I had a car, I had a job, my babies were in school. So I was just doing a simple act of putting the baby in a school and coming right back out. I mean, seconds. There was no conversation or anything. I come out, and there's a cop at my window. And it was a lady, and she was condemning me about how of a terrible mother I am and how I was making such a poor decision and anything could have happened to them in the moment. And it wasn't, you understand, I wasn't doing anything
to harm your kids
considerably wrong. I wasn't doing anything to harm them. I didn't leave them for hours. It literally was a split second. The door literally, if you open the door, you can look at the car. That's how close we were. but it was just the fact that they were in the vehicle without my body. The car was off, the windows were up. It was cold outside, so it's not like it was summer and they were burning in the car or something, but it just was that split second. You know, you don't always make perfect decisions, and you watch situations like I was just watching. Didn't have the most inviting environment. He was a single father. It was rough on him, and he had a job, but because the environment wasn't the best, they end up taking his children from him. And you know how painful that is to lose your babies, and all you are doing is just doing your best. You're doing what you know. We don't know. Kids don't come with a manual.
And then your lifestyle, sometimes before they even come, your lifestyle is even a certain way that you can barely even have a child, but you don't want to give your child up and you don't want to get an abortion. So it's kind of like you have to do this thing of balance. Do I have the child still? Well, I can't afford an abortion. So the cheapest thing to do at this point is have the child.
Yeah.
Not realizing that in the long term is going to be more. My lifestyle got to change and everything. So that, I can only imagine how painful that is for people who work so hard to try to be better.
You're trying, and people, you get condemned. That's what I said, being perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect parent. We all gonna screw up. You all gonna say something your kid may not like. You might hurt your child's feelings, and you might make a poor decision that might cause you and your kid to end up in a bad predicament. It's you, but if you're putting forth effort and you're really really trying and you're doing all you can, you gotta again give yourself grace.
Absolutely. So then, my next question to you, what you said is 100% true. Perfection. Like in my last episode, it wasn't even an episode of Motherhood the Secret. It was just talking about showing up perfectly. Because everything in a world where everything looks so perfect, because of social media, we all highly depend on, not we all, but a lot of people highly depend on social media to say what things are supposed to be. But the reality is that that's not what it's always gonna be. My next question to you would be, what is one lesson your child has taught you that you never expected to learn?
I can't think of that right now. Really don't know. I've learned so much just being a mother. I can't say that's a specific lesson because there is a different every stage of a child's life. You don't know how to be a mother to a toddler. You don't know how to be a mother to a kid. You don't know how to be a mother to a teenager. So you're always going to be learning multiple lessons of every stage of a child's life, they are a different person. Every stage. That's a message. My teenager is not my 2-year-old that I had in 2011. I look back and it's like, who are you and how did you get in my house? Like, they are total different people. I remember when the babies were small and they would come in the house, Mommy! Now I go in the room and they look at me like, don't you got something else to do? Yeah, I literally get that.
That's a good one. So basically what you're saying, one of the lessons your children have taught you is to adapt.
I guess.
Like, you halfway gotta adapt even if you don't want to, because it's like, this is my child. I still gotta be a mother to this child.
Yeah, no matter what, even when they turn to a creature, it's like, dang, like, oh my goodness.
Like, I gotta deal with this creature now.
Yeah, I guess that is the lesson. There's multiple lessons you're always gonna have to learn because you gotta adapt. You gotta adjust to who you're dealing with and different personalities. I have 7 daughters, different personalities and feelings, and I don't like feelings, y'all. I do not like feelings.
They could be like too big.
It's too much. It's too overwhelming. Yeah. I can't even handle my own feelings, and I gotta deal with other people.
Yes, and that also trickles into our career, because as a hairstylist, it's like you still have to deal with other people.
Women.
Like, I gotta come in and I gotta be a therapist, and then I gotta go home and counsel my child if she's having a bad day, or deal with her emotions.
Let alone being a woman yourself and maybe having that time of the month, or either you just have your crazy moments like me. I have them. I'm sane probably two weeks out of the month, and And somebody comes over and they're just going through whatever they're going through, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not here for this today. But you gotta be here. You gotta put the smile on. You gotta show up.
Motherhood is about adapting, but pretending. Mm-hmm. We pretend a lot. We pretend like everything's okay. Mm-hmm. You crying in the shower, you come out and they say, "Are you okay?"
And you're not.
Yes, I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm not good. That wasn't even a good question.
Baby,
I wasn't
wipe
good.
my face. You okay, mommy? You okay? And that's why I show the emotions. I don't hide the emotions.
Which is good.
When they were younger, I used to be scared to show them how I feel. But I'm like, look, they need to know that life is not lollipops and gumdrops. Yeah. Like, there's gonna be days that is ups and downs, and as they grow, I explain to them, like, look, the world don't care about your feelings. And that's just the raw truth.
Yes. And
there's going to always be ups and downs. And you know what? We all, ain't nobody 100% happy on this earth. As you grow older, remember when you know, when you're a kid, you think life is so hard. It sucks being a kid. Then when you grow up, it's like, oh my God, I wish I was a kid. This is for the birds.
That's absolutely
Life
true.
Is depressing. It's irritating. And I want them to see the truth. I don't want them to think that
there's a balance. Like, some days are gonna be perfect, but some days aren't gonna be perfect.
I smile. I'm a happy person.
So then, this is gonna be my last question, which is gonna conclude our interview. And I want you to drop your best advice. Not advice. I'm sorry. It won't be an advice question. All right. What I'm gonna ask, I want you to drop your best answer to this question. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So I want you to give your best answer to this question. The question is, when your children are grown and telling stories about you to their children or to other people, what do you hope they say about you?
What I hope they say about me.
Okay. Yeah.
So I want them to say that my mother loved me unconditionally for all my flaws and all. I want them to talk about my goofiness. I want them to talk about all the P's and Q's, like everything that I've done for them. I want them to express appreciation in adulthood, of course, but I want them to be able to express to others the love they have for me, because I really did that. Like, my whole goal in life, I live for my children. I live for my family. So my whole goal is to show them that there is beauty in life. Yes. It's rough, it's hard, it's a struggle, but there is beauty in life. There's so much you can get, and I want them to be able to tell the stories. Like, my mother is a goofball. Like, I do goofy things. They could be sitting there. Remember I said, she'd be like, you got something else better to do? And I come in the room and be like, doing something, she'd be looking at me like, Mom, come on. I lay on top of them. I lick their face. I dig in their ear. I give them a wet willy. I want them to, like, my mother, she's a goofy.
She showed that she loved us.
Yes.
That sense of touch and things like that.
And I try to make it fun for them, too. I try to create memories. I don't got a lot of money. We ain't rich. But every single year, I make sure they go on a vacation, and I try to make it memorable, and I try to give them that time. Because I remember, although I had a rough childhood, I remember those moments when my grandmother, my step-grandma, would take us on a car ride. She ain't had no money, but she'll be like, hey, kids, y'all want to get lost? She'll literally get in the car, and we would drive to the middle of nowhere and literally get lost. We didn't have GPSs we had today. So we literally get lost, and we will go to whatever restaurant is in the area, and then we'll find our way home, whether it's 2 o'clock the next morning. But it was the effort, the time, the love that I was provided that I remember. So I want them to remember Mom put forth her best foot to make sure we enjoy life.
That was actually great. And I want to thank you so much, Franny, for coming to today's episode of She Innovates podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and like our channel. Tune in to the next episode of She Innovates podcast. See you there.